Okay, guys. I have a question from the class about the B5 because I think I kind of recall that I wanted to give this one as a B5. That's why, and then I moved it here. So in fact, if this one was the B5 that was supposed to be graded, this one is B5C because it says that on the exam, right? If this is the B5, see, I mix up between the two. So if this is the case, at the candidate portion here, you need to have the reaction from B4 here. Okay, so it's my mistake. I raised my hands up. It's my bad. So I think I will go back and fix everyone's exam accordingly. Okay, and this is the mistake. So let's hope that you guys get the points up. I think some will get the points out. But whatever that is, I think I'll see to the best solution. I cannot tell you right away what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so I think maybe if I finish this, I will re-upload. Strange word. Re-upload the exam again. Okay, and then we'll see. Okay. So the correct one has to have this one. Yeah, like I was saying, so it's been it's been a tough 2 weeks. So yeah. Anyway, my apologies on the inconvenience. So let us resume our problem on the frame. Okay. Right. So now let's take a look at the member AB. Okay. Let's say you can do it any way you want. Maybe I can do it like this. Okay, that's AB. I rotate the member clockwise. So that's we have this. Oops. 11.25 like this. Okay, and that one is 6 downward. So that's 6 up. And then you have this. And then you have moment. That's 30. Right. So, okay, the shear force diagram is going to be, if you draw it in this direction, that's going to be negative, right? Because we start with a downward. And then this negative area would give you the negative bending moment. Simple as that. So it's in good accordance. So this is the shear force diagram. This is the bending moment diagram. This is in tons. This is in ton meter. Okay. All right. And is that too quickly? No, I think it's pretty piece of cake, right? Yeah. So let's move up a little bit. That's AB. We don't have anything on CD, so it's going to be very quick. This is BC. Let me try to move forward. That's a moment, right? And then we have this. Okay, that's a free body diagram of member BC, right? And we're gonna have a shear force diagram, looks like this. 11.25. You beat 15, it comes down that much. Force diagram in tons and the bending moment diagram. Okay, that is the negative value that you begin with. For those of you who still, cling to the idea that this is a simple beam, you get it wrong because you will now have what we call end moments. Okay, that is minus 30. And now we're going to use the area. This positive area is 11.25 multiplied by 4, right? 4. Let me go back. Yeah. So that's 45, right? Can you tell me what unit this is? The unit of the area of the shear force diagram? Ton. It's ton meter because it gives you moment, right? So that means this is plus 45, and you begin with minus is it minus 30? Yeah. So that means this goes to, a little bit too high. But I know how to use the lasso. So that is 50, right? Because the area is plus 45 and we begin with minus 30, so that's 50. And that means that this negative area should be minus 50. Same color. Here is minus 3.75 multiplied by 4. So that's minus 50, right? So that's good enough to bring everything back down to 0. So that's your bending moment diagram. Okay. Oops. I forgot to turn on the microphone. Folks at home, can you hear me? I think I did. Maybe it's just switched off like 5 seconds ago accidentally. Okay. So that's your bending moment diagram. So negative moment and positive moment. And that is, of course, your point of inflection. And I may have said that you need to use the moment equation to solve this point, but in fact, it's the point where, because it's a simple structure. So when your moment can become positive and negative like that, you can also set up your shear force diagram. The area of the shear force diagram equal to 30 to find this as well. That's another alternative that you could do, but it can be quite confusing at times. So yeah, you can do that too. Okay. Now, one more thing that you should be able to do is that when you look at this bending moment diagram, you should be able to sketch the deflected shape a little bit, right? For example, you know that this is a negative area. So the negative area means what? The negative area is this kind of curvature, correct? That's your negative curvature, the frowning beam. And the positive area, you have that positive curvature. So surely your frame the member BC should go like that, according to your bending moment diagram. And your bending moment diagram is correct because it's based on the legitimate free body diagram. Remember, correct free body diagram give you correct shear force and bending moment diagram, and therefore your sketched deflected shape should also be correct. It's based on correct bending moment diagram. You guys taking notes here? So you taking notes? Let's wait a minute. Oops. And every year, I like that, when I sketch the deflected shape, many students will try to do the same, but their deflected shapes are kind of wide. And, at times when they're wild, when they are unrealistic, because there is a feeling within you that, no, it can't be like that. And then when you have that within you, you will resist what you get from your bending moment diagram. Okay, because look at this. This is what you get from the bending moment diagram, correct? This is from the negative moment. This is your negative curvature. It has to be like that, right? And this is your positive curvature. It has to be like that. But when you try to put this on your structure, you think, oh, no, can't be, So let's take a look at this. This is your member AB. So how it's going to deform? Yeah, I think you're correct. I wouldn't know your reference point, right? But yeah, maybe it should be like this, right? Okay. Because that's your negative moment. So when we try to put this here, how would your look like? I try to use my imagination as well. Because this beam is being pushed to the left. So it may be the same curve, but it maybe should go like that. In the negative curve, right? And then going the negative curve and then move like that. Okay, that's positive, right? That's negative. And if you think that your joint B moves that much, your joint C should move maybe the same amount. Right? Looks good. And I'm not sure how this angle goes. Now, let me oh, that's tough one. Because if that one, you must maintain the angle. It's roller, right? It's free to go. Maybe it goes like that. Woo! Is that possible? It is, right? Because you have the horizontal load pushing the frame to the left, so it should go like that. And then you have the vertical load, so you should have the the sacking. But this is a rough sketch. I'm not gonna hold anyone responsible for drawing the wrong deflected shape. It's not easy. But again, you can do it based on your bending moment diagram, correct? Any question on this? Any questions? If there isn't any questions, we oblige to move on to the next problem. Right? Okay. But that's done. I did do anything for member CD because you can see we have only the axial force, so there's no shear force diagram, no bending moment diagram. So we move on. Okay. All right. It's getting more fun. Oops. Okay. So this one is going to be a little bit more challenging because now you see the horizontal force is not at the same level. Got to be careful. And we have the vertical force here as well. So now this is not the time to play some trickery anymore because it's a lot of load. Okay, so we better be careful. And this will be the time where you should take the moment wise to make sure that your reactions are really correct. Many of you would prefer, call the name, A, B, C, D. Many of you would calculate RA or RD by taking moment at A and then use sigma Fy next. So if one reaction goes wrong, you're hopeless. And when the situation becomes slightly more complicated, it's time that you should check the reactions before you go further. Because and let's say some of you guys who would like to misplace the reaction. For example, you calculate RA and RD correctly, but when you do the work, you switch the place. Both of them. What you have as RA, you put a D. What you have as RD, you put a A. If that's the case, especially for the frame, if you continue to write the free body diagram for each member, you will realize that your free body diagrams are not close, are not under equilibrium. That's why I will not grade the shear force diagram if you cannot finish all the free body diagram of every member. Because you cannot make sure and tell me that your system is under perfect equilibrium. You need to prove that all your members are under proper equilibrium by showing free body diagram for all of them. If you mess up the reaction, you cannot complete your proper free body diagram. It will show. So just check yourselves while you still have a chance before going wildly and blindly into numbers that are all wrong. It's useless. Okay? All right. And at least one thing that we can do right away is sigma fx, right? No trickery now. So let's say sigma fx equal to 0. Okay. We have 200 kilogram force to the, I think that's a lot more to this. So please be careful a little bit. That's 200 kilogram. That's 5 ton force of 3. So let's say we have 5,000 plus 3,000 minus 200 multiplied by 6 equal to, let's call it H8. Okay? I may have the number in here somewhere if you don't help me out. That's HA. Now you can try sigma MA equal to 0. Okay. Now back to your old good old sigma moment equal to 0 thing, right? You should be happy now, but be careful. Just take account for every force. That's A. So we have a lot of things. First, we're gonna tackle the uniform load. Okay, that's 200 multiplied by 6. But you know, multiplied by 3/2. So that's 6 squared over 2, right? WL squared over 2. Correct? Or you can just write 200 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 3. That's not kind of cool. Anyway, this is this one. Right? That's the one. Okay. And then the next one is that 8 tons, which if you take moment at A, it will give you another clockwise moment. So that plus, okay, 8,000 multiplied by the moment arm, which is 4. Okay. The third one is that 5 tons, which will give you the counterclockwise moment. So it's minus. And the moment arm is 3. The fourth one is actually this one, but you can see that the point at the load actually passes through the point that we take the moment. So if you want to write it, fine. If you don't want to write it, it's also fine. So it's 3,000 multiplied by 0. Right? Because there's no distance. And then minus RD multiplied by the moment arm, which is 8. This RD is here, so this becomes the distance, right? Perpendicular to the force. And here RD is, yeah, I got a number, 2.575 tons. Okay, so now, oh, not okay. Some of you still making notes. I'll wait. Any question? Maybe? Yeah, for those of you who wear glasses like me, you know that we have a lot of, moisturizer coming on to glasses when we wear the mask, right? Absolutely annoying. Terribly annoying. But if you don't speak, it's fine. When I take my glasses off, I can't barely see you. I just see you guys like a blur. But it's not that bad, but it's just not crystal clear. Okay. So if you don't have a problem, I'd like to point out that this is where you guys will take off and use sigma Fy equal to 0. Which, nobody can stop you, but if you get this number wrong, you don't give yourself a chance. If you take moment and here is wrong, for some reason, if this is wrong, the rest becomes instant garbage. We all know that. And you know, I remember it takes me back years when I first started teaching here. I began with wrong reaction 0. Simple as that, and it still holds because if you're third year student now, you are in the advanced class, in the structural analysis class. Who's going to give you points for your ability to calculate reactions, right? If all you can do is calculate reactions, or you cannot do, you should go back to second year, right? So we're not here to talk about how to calculate reactions anymore. And you should be a little bit thankful that you can check it, because in next semester, when we have more complicated structure, there is no way that you can check reactions anymore. You're just going to have to make it right. When you are dealing with the system that we call indeterminate structure, there is no way to check reactions anymore. This, there's still a way. So if you're not sure, just take the moment one more time. Sigma MD for 0. Okay. Even I didn't do it because I knew it was correct. Anyway. Sigma MD equal to 0. Now we have HA, right? So my HA is 6,800. That's HA, right? So multiply by 3. Excuse me. Would you like me to like shrink it a little bit so that you can see the picture of the frame as well, but the numbers become smaller? The shake of the head means that you don't need to see the picture of the frame, right? No. Okay, good. So now I have the oops. Sorry, that's RD. Okay. So it has to be plus RA multiplied by 8. Okay. Then plus the uniform load, which is 200 multiplied by 6. But you can't do the 6 square over 2 anymore, because look at this. This is your uniform load, right? And that's going to give you the pink one. But this time, because you take moment at D, so your moment arm with respect to D becomes this one. So it's 6 meters, okay? And one more thing, I'd like to point out, some of you, I think, got the wrong idea about this. But I think most of you have done okay, but I don't know if there are a few of you who, yes, you can turn your uniform load into a point load. But you cannot do that when you draw the bending moment diagram. You all know that, right? Or shear force diagram. Because that would mean you change the type of the load. You change the nature of the load. You can use the resultant of the uniform load when you calculate the reaction. Okay, that is okay. But when you draw the diagrams, don't ever change the type of the load. Do not ever do that. Okay? So we're here. Now the moment arm becomes 6. Let's use the pink one so that you can recognize the history. And now we have a lot more. That's why you don't want to take moment anymore, right? Take moment at D. Now the rest will give you, you see, this guy, when we take moment at D, the reaction at A will give you clockwise moment around D, right? This will give you clockwise moment, but an RA will give you clockwise moment, but these 3 external point loads, they all give you the counterclockwise moment. So why is this? Oops, what's that? Okay. So that becomes a negative 8,000. This is the vertical one multiplied by 4 minus 5,000 multiplied by 6 minus 3,000 multiplied by 3 equal to 0. From this, you get RA equals 5.425 tons. Okay, and then you sum them up. It's equal to 8, so we are in good shape. All right. So this is the, it's not really something different from what you have done and what you've had from statics. It's a calculation of the unknown. Okay. We need to move forward from this further by putting this and draw the free body diagrams of all the members and then the shear force and bending moment diagram of them. Okay. You can see that the sigma md equal to 0 is not very enticing for you to do. It looks a lot complicated and so on and so, but it gives you the second chance to check whether these are correct. You may do the opposite. You may use sigma Fy to calculate Ra and then take the moment and see if it's 0. But it's the same equation nonetheless. Okay. So once we have this, it's time to go about our business. And this time you can see even this member with the roller support has the horizontal force acting on it. So this time, because this member has the horizontal force, member at C will not be 0. Correct? You can see right away, let me do the rough free body diagram for you. You see, without any calculation, you should know that when you have this, you need to have this, right? You should know. So the presence of the external horizontal load on member CD makes it necessary for the member to have moment at C to balance the moment caused by this external load. There's no easy way out now. Okay. So where do you want to begin? We can begin from CD this time, right? Just for fun. Because I know most of you cannot work from right to left. Right? You have to go from left to right. So I always have fun, trying to, give you the problem where if you realize working from right to left is a lot easier, but you just don't want to do it because you don't feel like it. See? But this one, if you work from right to left, is a lot easier because of the nature of the load, right? Why not? Okay. Turn your life a little bit miserable. No, not yet. If you see the next problem, it's more than this. We just keep building things up bit by bit. Okay. All right. So let's do the CD first, just for fun. We have the 3,000 and 5,000. And I keep telling you to try to draw things, to scale, right? So I'm just going to add a little more. Okay, it looks better. So that's it. And we have the reaction. That's 2 something. Yeah, 575. Okay, so that's what we know. So we can probably tell right away by using sigma Fy that this is 2.575, right? So then that's it. Now, if you take moment at C, you will know that MC is no longer 0, okay? And MC is now going to be equal to 5,000 multiplied by 3 plus 3,000 multiplied by 6. So that's 18,000 plus 15,000, so that's 33, right? Kilogram meter, okay? And since the load, these two horizontal loads are trying to push the member clockwise around point C, so you know that your moment is in this direction. Simple stuff. In fact, I kind of like to draw it like this. Oops. I like this better. That's yeah, okay. Like that better. Put it around the end of the member. Okay. So now, what do you want to do? A, B, or B, C? B, C. Interesting. Yes, just to keep the trend right to left going, right? Uh-huh. So B, C is next. Yeah, what we have is just the external load 8 tons here. And from this, it's going down at C here. Yes, sir. Yeah, you're right. Should have, right? Correct. Thank you. We should. Yeah, right. And it's 8,000, isn't it? Thank you. Okay. So now we know. You know what? The reaction here, the rest is in kilograms, and the reaction is in tons. So that's not very nice of me. So this should be like 2,575. Okay. That's more like it. Okay. So that's 2,575. Okay. And this moment is going to be this. So we have the external load applied at BC, that's 8,000. And then we have these loads coming in from joint C. And then, oops, okay. Not anymore, right? Yes, yes, anymore, yeah, 8,000. Okay. And let me, I think try to change the color again to see that this is the response. So using sigma Fy equal to 0, sigma Fy equal to 0. This load is, of course, say VBC is 8,000 minus 2575, which incidentally it's equal to the reaction at A. Okay, so this is 5425. And here is force sigma Fx equal to 0, gives you 8,000. Okay. It occurs to me that if I'm left-handed, I would be better off because I could hold on microphone to the mic, use my right hand to hold on the microphone and right with my left, right? So because it's here, so this is appropriately designed for a left-hander. Speaking of that, do you know that there are languages that are written from right to left? Do you know that? It's Arabic language. They write from right to left. So I always think that this language must have been, invented by the left-hander. Because you notice your friends who are left-handed, and they will struggle to write because they use their left hand and they write on what they have written. So logically speaking, that's not very efficient. If you are a right-hander, you should write from left to right because you are leaving what you write behind. Makes sense, right? But if you're a right-hander, you want to write from right to left. You just put your hand on what you've just written. It's not very useful. Anyway, so we're not done yet because you should know that there must be moment of B, right? Or even if there isn't, you should always check. So this time, because it's a frame and it's a rigid joint, we must always check. So sigma MB equal to 0. We're gonna take moment at B, right? Let's try to use a different color, maybe. We take moment at that point. So now we have 8,000 multiplied by 4. Plus, you see the direction of that moment at C. They go in the same direction, right? And it's already a moment. Or maybe I should change the color. There. Okay. And then you have that VBC, or VCB, I'm sorry, which is going up. So it's in different direction. 2575 multiplied by 8. And this is our maybe, I don't, let's not do that. It's going to confuse you. Oops. Right. And then let's say, if you think MB, I think MB is going to be in the same direction as that. So I'll say minus MB equal to 0. Okay. So MB, that's 32 and then 33. That's a lot. So you can calculate it yourself. Yeah. So it's oops, kilogram meter. So you see, there is moment at B. If you don't have this, your member BC is not under equilibrium. And now, with a wing and a prayer, you should get MB exactly the same if you work your way from member AB. So now when you reach this point, there are two ways to do it. First, you just, work on your member AB. Okay. You calculate this, but we have the reaction, right? Let me go back. What's our reaction? Okay. We have 5,425 here. And then, ooh la la, look at how tricky it is. The reaction is in the same direction as the load. So you can hardly believe that, right? First, calculate MB from member AB, or second, put 44,400 on and check equilibrium. Either way, it should give you the same result, right? Or maybe it's easier to calculate the moment here, maybe. So let's say sigma MB equal to 0. You can do that. Simple enough, right? And you should get the same number, hopefully. So MB is going to be equal. And you see, you have 6,800 pushing to the left, or to the right, sorry. And then the uniform load. Both give you the counterclockwise moment. So MB is clockwise, right? And it's going to be equal to 6,800 multiplied by 6 plus the moment from the uniform load, which is now 206 square over 2. Does it give you the same number? Does it give you the same number? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. If no, ooh la la, you go back and find what's wrong. If yes, we can have a small celebration. Yeah? Is it a yes? Yeah, I think it's a yes too, because I have had my calculation before. Yeah. Right? So that's a yes. So I think you are due another break. So let us complete this a little bit by putting this load on here. It's kind of too tight. Okay. This has to be 5, 4, 2, 5, right? Coming from either sigma Fy equal to 0 or coming from member BC. And this has to be 8,000, right? Erase that. Okay. So again, we can only finish the free body diagram. Let's take a break before we continue on. So let's give you 2 more minutes before we take the official break. And again, I'd like to remind you that there's been a mistake in grading the exam on beam B5. I'll go back and rectify that, okay? And as soon as I'm finished with that, I will re-upload your exam again. But not all of you will be affected, okay? Because there are quite a number of you who haven't gone as far as B5. Okay, so for those of you who just gone that far, that will be affected. Okay. All right. I will get to that. I will get around to that ASAP. If you have any question regarding this, do ask now. Question? Piece of cake, right? Yeah, thought so. Okay. So if you don't have any question, let's take a break now, and we'll come back about 11:45. Okay. Please take a break. Yes, please. You might yes.